How you doing, everybody? This is Afro DJ Mac, and I got a fun little toy for you this week. This is the Vocal Multi-Effect Rack, and it allows you to do lots of fun things with your voice. So let me open this up and show you what's going on here. I use a variation of this for my live performance. It is a rack with many racks inside of it. And you can do a lot of fun things. So let me take you through it here. We're going to start with the gate here. So I have a gate, and the first knob here simply changes the threshold of the gate. And you can see as I raise it, the gate closes. This will cut out all background noise. This is really useful for live performance because you're probably going to have music playing and your microphone's going to be picking up the music. And what you want to do is just turn this up to a threshold just above the music. So your voice will cut through, but your music will be cut down. So this will help you get rid of like feedback and a lot of other problems you get by getting music pumping through your mic back, looping in. It's a big, handy little thing here. So that's the gate threshold. If you want to adjust some of these other parameters, you can, but I think these are nice places to put them. It will sort of minimize any, cuts and breaks in your signal here. It's going to hold it for 30 milliseconds, and it won't release it until almost a quarter of a second. So as your voice drops in volume, you'll still get the tail end of things. We'll close that up. Next is a compressor, and there's a knob for that. And this will just show you how much you're going to compress it. This plays with the threshold. This depends on how loud you sing. Adjust this to taste. I recommend being subtle rather than overdoing it, which is where I've got it now. So when I talk a little louder and get a little gain reduction, but not all the time. So that's the compressor. I'm going to go underneath that now. Well, we'll go over here. I have an EQ8. This is how I've EQ'd my voice. So now I'm going to take it off, and you hear there's a lot more low information. When I'm playing live, I don't really need that in my voice because I got bass, I got drums, I got synths. They're all taking up this area of the frequency, which I can turn on for you to see. So I'm just cutting out the lowest stuff there. I don't really need that. These other little dips here, I just found, like this one was more for the S sounds, which I'll turn it off. Yes. And these guys were just kind of like problematic frequencies for feedback. And when I dropped those little notches, down, feedback was reduced pretty well. The next thing you're going to see is the beat repeat. And these correspond to these two knobs here, these little light purple ones. So the way it works is you turn the knob and you grab whichever word you were just saying, like part of the knob. And the next control next to it is the pitch. So you can drop the pitch of that too. Pretty cool. So I'm going to kill that. That's fun for, just grabbing certain sounds and repeating and playing around with your voice. Okay. Next, let's look. We have chorus. And this knob here turns chorus on and off. And I'll open it up. It's just a dry, wet, 2 chains. One has the chorus, and the other one is totally dry. So you are, in effect, turning on, when I turn this chorus knob here, you're moving the chain selector, and you're going from no chorus to a little bit to more. And you can just build that into your liking. Now, what you can also do is play around with the different rates here on this rack. You might want maybe, say I'll turn it up so you can hear it, and I'll turn the LFO up, I'll turn the rate up, and the feedback, and things start getting a little crazy. So again, I sort of prefer subtle, so that's about where I have it set, and you can turn that in as you like. Next is radio voice, and that sounds like this. Makes you sound like you're coming out of a little speaker or telephone or a radio. This one is set up kind of similar to the chorus. It's got 2 chains, dry and a wet, and there's an EQ 8, which is just cutting out the lows and the highs very drastically. If you like, you can play around with these knobs here, which will move the range of your voice. So I will just turn radio voice back on. That was chorus, radio voice. And I can cut out more and more of the highs. I can let more highs through and cut out even more of the low frequencies, or let myself have lows and just get really muffly. But I have it set up to be kind of something like this, so it sounds like a radio. We'll kill that. And let's close this rack up here. Next is the delay, and that corresponds to this knob here. So when I put it up, again, you have your chain. You got one dry and one wet. So the dry is always coming through. And I'll just show you what I got going on here. I've also got, at the end of the delay, a compressor with the side chain set to the mic track. So what this means is my voice is compressing the ping pong delay. So this way you can still hear my voice pretty clear, even though I have a ton of delay going on. You can still hear what I'm saying, because I'm compressing the delay as my voice is speaking. So you're still hearing the dry, and it's mixed in with this wet. And you can play with the delay time if you want. Make it real long, make it real long, make it real long, make it real long, or make it real short. Up to you. So, that's your delay. Let's turn that off. Let's close them down. We got a Reverb Dull. And the reason I call it Reverb Dull is because you are dulling out the signal. You're putting a low-pass filter on as the reverb goes up. So let me just show you what happens when I turn the reverb knob. Reverb. Right there. I'm moving this chain, as you can see. So this is just like the chorus in that I'm cutting out the dry and giving you more reverb. The dull comes in with this knob here. Now, if you notice, I'm changing the low pass here. So I'm cutting out the highs. So when I turn up my reverb, just like that, I'm going to lower it a little bit, and I can muffle the reverb. Really bright, muffled, muffled. So when you turn it all the way up, you get this kind of muffled sound to your reverb, depending on how much you do this. Okay? We'll turn that down, and that's the end of the reverb part of the fun rack we have here. Last, but certainly not least, is the one-word delays. And there's no macro knob over here for this. You're going to have to do this yourself. And what I like to do, and I'll open this up so you see what's going on. We got two chains, a dry, and a delayed. And what's happening here is I have a gate set up. This gate is not letting anything reach the delay until I turn this knob. And I turn off the gate. Gate's on, blocking everything. Off. When it's off, you get to hear the delay. Why is this useful? Because I could be having like a phrase for you. Maybe I just want to put delay on one word and none of the other words. And only that one word will get delay. When I turn up this knob, only one word will get delay. Everything else stays clean. This is great for accenting things. So you're singing a passage, you want your one word just to have delay, and everything else to stay clean. You just turn that up, and you get it. What I like to do is I like to map this to a button, like this here. And now, when I'm playing, I can just talk and say my word, and then I can just push the button again and turn it off. I'm talking, playing. You know, I'm only letting delay come out on one word, and everything else stays clean. So while you're playing, just hit the button, and you get delay on the word that you hit the button for. So it's really cool, I think. Fun technique. I use that one a lot. And the last thing on here is just a limiter to keep things under control. Right now, that's not a problem because my mic isn't too hot, but if it were, this will keep you from peaking. And there's your rack. the Vocal Multi-Effect Rack. I hope you enjoy it. Have a lot of fun with it. I use it all the time, and it's a lot of fun to use.